everyone, and welcome to the Tao Salon and Statistics. Today, we are diving deep into the world of business intelligence, and we're going to tackle a huge topic: how to make your data actually speak. We're going to unpack how the best companies in the world stop looking at raw numbers and start seeing clear, powerful stories.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll get a handle on this whole idea of turning data into a story. Then, we'll jump into the main event, a showdown between the two giants of the industry, Tableau and Power BI. After that, we'll look at how this stuff makes a real difference in the real world, check out a couple of other tools, and then wrap it all up with 3 key ideas you can use to find your own powerful insights. You know, in today's world, pretty much every business is drowning in data. But here's the catch. Having tons of data and actually having wisdom are 2 totally different things. The real challenge is bridging that gap, right? How do we get from just having information to actually understanding what it means? I mean, come on, we've all been there. Staring at a spreadsheet with thousands of rows, your eyes just glaze over. You know there's an answer in there somewhere, but it's buried in this endless sea of cells. Well, that exact feeling of frustration is what data visualization was invented to solve. And the solution is data visualization. It's really the art of translating all that complicated data into something our brains can actually process. You know, charts, graphs, maps. The whole point is to instantly see the stories, the trends, the patterns that are practically invisible when you're just looking at raw numbers. And to do this well, big organizations rely on what we call business intelligence or BI tools. All right, so when you talk about professional BI tools, the conversation really revolves around 2 absolute titans, Tableau and Microsoft's Power BI. Now, they've both been leaders for years, but what's fascinating is that they are built on completely different ideas about how you should approach your data. And make no mistake, the influence of these platforms is just enormous. To give you some perspective, back in 2020, a staggering 96% of Fortune 500 companies were using Tableau. And since Power BI comes bundled with a lot of Microsoft's business packages, you can bet that these 2 tools have an incredible grip on the market. So here it is, the fundamental difference between them. It's not really about the bells and whistles. It's about their core philosophy. Tableau is designed to start with a question you have about your business. It encourages you to explore. Power BI, on the other hand, is built to start with a chart. It guides you toward creating a report. And this is what that Tableau process looks like in action. It's almost like having a conversation with your data. You ask a question, you get an answer, and that answer leads you to the next, deeper question. You're not just building a chart. You're on a journey of discovery, digging down layer by layer until you uncover the root cause and have that aha moment. So these different philosophies lead to really different experiences. Tableau is all about that fluid question-first exploration. Power BI is optimized for creating efficient, standardized reports. Then there's integration. Tableau is kind of its own self-contained world, while Power BI is woven deep into the huge Microsoft ecosystem. And of course, there's cost. Power BI might seem cheaper upfront, especially for small teams, but those costs can definitely add up as your organization grows. You know, there's a saying that you see a lot online that I think just nails it. The choice really comes down to your goal. Are you trying to explore the unknown to find something new, or are you just reporting on metrics you already track? Answering that one question is the key to picking the right tool. Okay, so we've talked tech, we've talked philosophy, but why does any of this actually matter? Well, because when these tools are used the right way, they don't just make pretty charts, they drive real, tangible business results. Let's look at some examples. Okay, check this out. A major retailer saw its sales grow by 15%. I mean, that's a huge number. But the real story isn't the what, it's the how. So how'd they do it? They did it by visualizing how customers were actually shopping, what paths they took through the store, what products they bought together. By literally seeing that behavior, they spotted opportunities to change layouts and run smarter promotions, directly connecting a data insight to more money in the bank. Or how about this one? An insurance company boosted its operational efficiency by 30%. That's a massive improvement, and it was all driven by a very specific data strategy. The secret was visualizing millions of claims at once. It allowed their analysts to instantly see patterns of high-risk behavior and potential fraud, things that were totally invisible in a spreadsheet. That saved the company a ton of time and money. And these kinds of stories are everywhere, in every industry. Hospitals are using this to manage patient flow better. Logistics companies are completely redesigning delivery routes. Finance teams are cutting down reporting that used to take hours into just minutes. The impact is just undeniable.
Now, while Tableau and Power BI get most of the headlines, it's important to remember that they're not the only players in the game. The business intelligence world is a big, diverse ecosystem.
For instance, you've got super powerful platforms like Looker, which are built for really deep company-wide data modeling. And then on the other end, you have tools like Google Data Studio, which are great for quickly spinning up and sharing simple dashboards, without a lot of fuss.
Okay, so let's bring it all home. After looking at the tools and seeing what they can do, what are the big lessons here? It all boils down to 3 fundamental concepts for getting real, actionable insights from your data. First, and this is so important, always start with the question, not the chart. Whether you're in marketing trying to figure out campaign ROI or in consumer research trying to understand why people behave the way they do, true insight always starts with curiosity, not just plugging numbers into a template. Second, pick the right tool for the job. You have to know your goal first. Are you doing routine reporting or are you on a mission of discovery? Then find a tool that matches that mindset. And finally, number 3, remember that visualization has to drive action. The goal is not to make a pretty chart for a presentation. The goal is to find an insight that leads to a real-world business outcome, like better sales, higher efficiency, or a smarter marketing strategy. Because at the end of the day, every single data set has a story locked inside it. A story about your customers, your operations, or your market. So the real question you should be asking is, what story is your data waiting to tell? Thanks for joining us here at the Tao Salon.